Hey guys, we are here with Mavericks this afternoon. We are here at Home Depot. This is Maverick's first time with me going out into a public setting. Now, normally I wouldn't do my first lesson out in a pretty busy public place on a Saturday, but I had to come to Home Depot, so I figured I would bring Mav along with me. I had some extra time to do a training lesson with him. So that's one important thing to realize. If you're going to bring your dog with you, make sure you give yourself adequate time to get them adjusted to their surroundings before you bring them inside where the distraction level is going to increase. If they can't pay attention to you and be calm outside in the parking lot, there is no way they are going to be calm when you bring them inside. So I wanted to start off right away taking a video so that I can really show you exactly what his true reactions are going to be when he is out in a public setting. Now, it's very important to understand that training your dog isn't just teaching your dog how to do something, it's you learning how to become an appropriate handler for your dog. That is really the biggest thing with training your dog, is you learning how to communicate with them properly. So one thing that we use, of course, is our leash to communicate with them. Now, we've taught Maverick that pressure on the leash when we do a straight up and down means go into a calmer state of mind, and when he does, pressure goes away. And that's just, releasing that tension. Now, if we rely on our tool, now our leash is just that, it is a training tool until your dog understands to follow you 100% of the time. Now, you in that sentence is the key point, because he has to understand that you are the one that is in control in the situation, and he has to follow your lead. He is a very, look here, look there kind of dog, where he doesn't really want to focus on me so much. So how I'm going to get his attention, simple as that, using my treat pouch. So when I go out into a public setting, I always bring a high value treat with me so that I have a way to get my dog's attention when they are really distracted by something else. Now, this is a high value treat that he doesn't ever get. I actually just had some extra ham laying around, some deli ham, and I was out of hot dogs, which is what I usually go to. But like I said, this is something that Mav has never had, at least not from me. So it is a high value treat that is super exciting right now. So now that we're out in a public setting where we have, people all around us and everything, I have a way to get his attention back on me pretty quickly. Now the next thing that we want to work on, is we're walking in the parking lot. So right there, see us right there, Maverick is ahead of me. That is what we don't want to see. I should always be about here, and he should be right behind me where he's following my lead, and I can make a clean left turn without bumping into him. Now, if I bump into him, see if I just made a left turn, clearly he's not paying attention to me, right? Because when I turn, he's not noticing, right? So the way we want to do that is we don't want to overuse our leash and make our leash do all the work. You want to learn how to get Maverick to pay attention to you using body language, and when to communicate with him. So right there, as soon as we started walking, I gave him a pop on the leash to say, pay attention. Okay, that is what the pop is, pay attention. Slow down, pay attention. It is not, you don't want to use it when you stop and then do pops and stuff. If you stop moving, that's just like at a traffic light, you are going to do a red light. You're going to do solid pressure on until his butt hits the ground, and then pressure releases. So teaching him where your invisible box is, where he's allowed to stay, is going to be key. He's going to know where mine is, but if you allow him to go here sometimes, here sometimes, here sometimes, here sometimes, then he doesn't have a clear indicator as to where your box is, and he's not going to respect your heel as well as he is mine, because I am very consistent about every time my dog gets here, I say, you're not allowed to get there, using my leash as my communicator as a pop, right? So you have three options when you're doing this. You have stop, pop, and change directions, okay? So if he is not paying attention to you at all right now, he's trying to pull the other direction, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to get him into a calmer state of mind and get him refocused on me again, okay? So now that is a red light, that's a stop. Your next one is the pop, which is what I was just talking about. It is to be used while you're still moving as a way to say, you know, you're in my invisible box, but you're not focused on me. You're looking elsewhere. If I were to turn right now, you wouldn't pay attention. So it's a way to kind of say, slow down, focus, you're about to leave the box. But you can continue to move when you use that. It's a pop and move. Your green light is when you have this nice U shape in your leash and you have no tension, and he's following you as a handler, not just, you know, using the leash to kind of force him to be right next to me. Notice I keep adjusting his leash as well. You want to make sure that this stays center with his little white stripe on his nose. It's going to slip. It's going to fall back down here. You want it nice and high up. I think he's got to go pee. You want it nice and high up where it's framing his skull, not just pulling on his trachea. So like right there, if I were to pull him right now, what most people would do would be like pull their dog, right? You don't want to do pulls. You want to do these quick little pops and releases to say, pay attention, right? Maverick, yeah, good boy. Sit. Come. Good boy. Sit. Okay. Okay, we even have another dog barking right there. Good boy, Mav. So I'm using some treat, right, to keep him interested in me and this rather than the distraction. Okay. Okay. Good boy. Right? So we're going to move. So you have stop, pop, and change directions. Change directions is so important. You can't just keep going in a straight line where he's going to get bored. So especially when we're going into a new place outside, I'm going to do this. So I parked all the way over by the sheds where I have a lot of times for me to kind of practice walking up to the building. And then we're also going to sit at the doors for a few minutes and have him stand there and watch people go in and out of the doors, keep him in a calm state of mind, do a couple sit stays, do some releases. If there's something I can place him on, we'll practice placing. So I'm giving him mental stimulation and calming his brain down a little bit before we go inside a really distracting area that's going to be difficult for him, to really calm his brain down and help him through the situation. Make it easier, not just say like, I'm going to bring you in here and you're going to mess up and I'm going to get upset about it, right? You have to be the one to work him through these situations. And the more we practice doing it appropriately, the easier it's going to get and the calmer he's going to feel, because he knows that he has a handler that's, you know, backing him up. He can follow me. He doesn't have to take control. So right there, if he's not sitting, I used my spatial pressure to kind of block like we're playing in basketball. You don't need to add more tension on the leash. You just need to get his attention. Okay, so he's got back up. Just going to reapply tension. Good. So, right, instead of like popping the leash or saying something, I just kind of like clicked my tongue a little bit and it got him to realize, oh, I got to pay attention, right? Okay. So I'll see if he'll even get a place on here. Maverick. Try going in here. So the first time, these things are kind of like freaky sometimes. So I'm going to hang on to it a little bit, and then I'm going to entice him on without saying the word place. Yes, good boy. So that he knows that this object is something safe that he can step onto and he doesn't have to be worried about it. Good job, Mav. Good job. Now that he backed off because I didn't say PLACE, he's not as discouraged that he got off. Go boy, all the way. Come on, see, he's rolled a little bit. Come on. So I'm enticing him with the treat and kind of drawing him on. So he's got to get his back legs on all the way. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Yes! Now that he got all four paws on, I released the treat. Okay, so now that he's on the object, he knows that it's something. Okay, so I'm just going to keep him on there with my leash. I'm not going to, like, tug up on my leash, right? Just if he tries to get off. Okay! And I'm also going to release pretty quick. If he's nervous of it, there's no reason to make him sit through something that's making him stressed out. But the more he practices it, the less stressed he's going to feel about it. So, place. Yes. See, now this time I was able to say the word place because it's an object he's been on and he feels safe. I've also come around to the opposite side so that I can draw him on. Yes, good boy, Mav. Good job, handsome. Good. Okay. And then he stays on until I release. So we do quick ones, right? Now, if we go over again, I bet you this time he goes on even quicker because he knows it's safe. Place. Yes. Good boy. All the way. Okay, so not pulling him, letting him do it himself. Come on, buddy. Yes. Oh, he broke, though, so we got to do it again. Come on. Yes, this way. Good boy. Yes, all the way. Come on. Stay. Good. So I used my leg to kind of block him from jumping off, and it made him realize, oh, she doesn't want me to jump over. She wants me to stay on it. Right? So it's all about knowing, right there. He tried to jump off, and I said, and I used my leash just to give him just enough tension for him to realize, oh, I'm not allowed to get off. So I stop behaviors before they happen. I don't wait until he breaks and then go, oh, he broke, right? I've got to be, watching him. So like right now, there's someone else coming out, so he's distracted by that. He got up. As a handler, I know that means he's going to try and break right now. He just he sniffed, he looked down. That means he's looking at the ground to see where he can jump down to. He's going to release. So I'm holding tension on his leash. I'm going to get his attention. Maverick. Good. Right? So I follow through with my pressure. I wanted him to go into a calmer state of mind. This is a more relaxed pose. So there's somebody with a cart right there, which is just distracting for him. Okay, Maverick. Good. Perfect, buddy. So that was great. So these are the kind of things that I do with my dog before we go inside. We don't just park and go inside and just have them in full stress mode. Now that we've been working for a few minutes, he's a lot more prone to listening to my cues, and I don't even have an e-collar with him. So e-collar is really used more for off-leash reliability. When you don't have this communication line, you have a different communication line where you'll be able to say his name, and if he doesn't listen, you can give him a pop or a tap on his button. But again, if he can't do it on a leash perfectly, he can't do it off a leash at all. Come on, buddy. Come on, bud. Yes, good job. So this is another great thing I like to do, is just getting him to follow. Mav. Yes, good job. Not in a perfect heel, but right there, as soon as he gets in front of me, I stop and turn. I don't pull him. Good boy. Maverick. No pulling. Good. Maverick. Yes. Come on, buddy. Right, so this is getting him to listen to me and follow me as a handler. It's not just getting him to listen to a leash. Our leash is a tool to help us, but it is not the main source of what he's going to listen to. Maverick, come. Yes. Sit. Okay. Good. Sit. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to just adjust this leash real quick. Now we are going to head inside. It's back here. Okay. So just using a series of little pops to kind of slow him down right as soon as he gets to that spot where I don't want him to pass. Now right there, he's too far ahead, so I'm going to turn and get control back. Right there, he went ahead, I took it right back, right? So if you change directions, he was in front of me, now he's behind me, that's going to be a big thing. Come on, buddy, yes! So he's clearly nervous of the carts right now, so I'm not going to force him into a situation he's not comfortable with. Maverick! Instead, I'm going to show him that there's other ways of doing things, that he can be calm. Even though there's a cart passing by right now, that's kind of making him nervous. Sit. I'm going to give him a high-value treat that shows him that he's doing a good job and good things happen. Even though he's stressed, he can follow my lead and I got control of things. Good job, handsome. Good boy. So I'm never going to force a dog to go into a building that they're not comfortable going into yet. If we get to the door and I feel like this isn't a good thing, it's not going to help anything bringing him in there. It's only going to make him more stressed. So we want him to go in when he feels like he can follow my lead and that there's nothing to be concerned about. Okay, so like I said, Maverick, sit. Some spatial pressure. Maverick. Maverick, sit. Good. Pressure right back on because he got up. Maverick, sit. Off. On. Maverick. Maverick. Good boy. Stay. Okay, so if we go in the building right now, all he's going to do is try and pull me in. I can guarantee that. He is definitely not ready to walk in and follow my lead. So I'm not going to force that to happen. He got up. Still not trying to make things, loud. But no pressure on the leash. Okay, we only want to use tension when we absolutely need it. We have to teach him that just because you're nervous. See, right now, sure, I could move into this and allow him to pull me. See, because I'm saying, okay, that's fine. Or I can just stand still and release that tension. And look, he just hangs out. Good boy. Right. Maverick. Good job, handsome. Good boy, come on. Yes. Right, so right there, just that's the kind of thing that you're probably seeing when you say that he puts on the brakes when he gets to buildings. Things like that, where he's like, no way, I ain't going in, right? So enticing him and showing him that there's an easy way to do it. If we just pull him, that's just going to freak him out because, one, we're teaching him that pressure means go into a calmer state of mind and relax. So if we also say pressure while pulling you means move, that's like saying it's okay to run a red light and I'm actually going to pull you and force you through a red light, which is absolutely not what we want him to do, right? So instead, we need to get him into a calmer state and make him feel more comfortable about walking in, right? So right now, he got up, pressure turns on. Now he backs up a little bit, but I just hold my ground. You can still just hold this much tension. A lot of times what happens is people get so nervous, oh my God, he's pulling, close my fist, and then he backs up, and then he puts way too much tension on, and then he freaks out even more, and then everybody's at a loss. We don't know what to do. But if you learn how to teach yourself and teach your dog that having loose tension on a leash gives you an opportunity to have a way to communicate with them now. If you always have tension, you have no way to talk to them anymore. Come on, baby. Yes, good job. Right, so verbal enticing him right now. Okay, so. That's great, right? So nice and calm we walk in. Just little taps on the leash. Just a few, because when we're walking in, it's hard to stop every 2 feet with other people. But now that we came around the corner, I can kind of stop and get him into a calm state. Good boy. And let him kind of just explore for a moment. Okay, Maverick. Good boy. Right, so just keeping him calm, letting people pass by, and just showing him there's no need to get all worked up. So yeah, this is fantastic. I'm really proud of him. He's doing a great job for his first time. Excellent. We will definitely be going out into public a lot more. We'll be going to vets. We'll be going to his apartment complex. We'll be going to pet stores, all sorts of stuff, so that he can learn to walk through doors and just in general be a lot more confident and comfortable when he's out in public settings that just make him nervous. But yeah, so all in all, very proud of him. Good job, buddy. We'll talk to everybody soon. Have a good one.